Okay, well, looks like I am live here for my first session ever. And sorry, just trying to get the technical difficulties out of the way here. Let's put this down a little bit closer to me. All right, so here we are working with some bikes. Get some of the bikes out of the way. All right, so I have this Diamondback BMX bike that I'm just going to take off the back wheel. The typical thing, that's what happens with most bikes. Have a flat tire. Y también lo voy a hacer esto en español, pero lo voy a mezclar entre los dos. Tengo un neumático eh, ponchado, llanta ponchada, como quiere decirlo, depende de dónde viene. Um, so what I'm going to do is start to take this off and look at the tube and figure out what's wrong with it. Probably just a little slow leak because I've worked on this before and I think it's pumped up, and then a couple days later I find it's flat again. So, eh, como digo, cuando he trabajado en esta cámara y después de un tiempo me doy cuenta que se desinfla. Entonces es algo muy pequeño, un agujero quizás apenas que se ve, pero es suficiente que no se quede inflado. Así que vamos a trabajar en eso. I am actually going to probably do more live sessions with time, more along a Q&A session type of thing instead of me just sitting here working on bikes. Only because of the fact that it is, I'm trying to get this channel to be an opportunity for people to reach out and ask their questions and actually try to real time, because I mean people could be sitting there working on their bike at the same time. I don't know. I'm just being I'm trying to be as helpful as I possibly can. Lo que estoy haciendo es tratar de que estas sesiones en vivo se pongan más interactuado para que uno pueda hacer sus preguntas y que yo también conteste con lo que hablo. Y voy a poner chat. Ok, voy a poner mi chat para que yo vea. Ok. Let's see if we can put this thing live here on Facebook as well. Okay, so it looks like that is good. And as I say, the idea of these live sessions is to give people the opportunity to provide uh, their comments and things like that. That's the whole intent. So, all right. Well, anyway, so meanwhile, y por el momento, obviamente, por el momento voy a trabajar en esta bicicleta y veremos cómo va todo. So we'll see how things go. Let me go ahead and take off the front wheel. And I need my 15 millimeter wrench. Necesito una llave de 15 milímetros. Disculpe. No. 17. Sorry, need a 17. I forgot. This is the. So, all right. as always with my stuff, okay. So you have to understand, I have ADHD, and I love to go off on tangents. It's not because it's because I can never stay the course of what I'm doing and stay really well. I stay focused, but I can easily be distracted. It's like a dog, you know. If you ever saw the movie Up, and the dog growls, squirrel. That's that's a guy with ADHD. He could be doing something, or she doesn't necessarily have to be a he. They could be doing something and be distracted by something completely, almost not related. But usually it's because they saw something. It's like, oh, you know what, that needs to, and it's just like, that's that's the way it is. So now I also like, oh, that's right. So let me explain. So these, some of the better BMX bikes. Oh, voy a hacerlo en español también. Uno que tenga ADHD, que es dicen que es un déficit, no es déficit, pero es déficit de atención. Eso es muy lo que han diagnosticado, y eso es lo que tengo yo. Y es, si han visto la película Up o Arriba, como se llaman en español, de Disney, que los perros cuando están ahí y de repente ven una ardilla y dicen, oh, ardilla, así, y como que, y así soy yo. Me distraigo muy fácil de lo que estoy haciendo y empiezo a hacer otra cosa. No es porque uno, no es una falla en sí, es simplemente una característica, podría decir. Okay, so let me go back here. So what I'm going to say is that BMX bikes, the better BMX bikes, have a thicker axle in the back wheel because of the jumps that they do and the tricks and stuff, and they bend the standard axle would be bent because of their because of the jumps and the tricks and stuff they do. So that's why they put a thicker axle so it doesn't bend. That's what it is. That's the reason why they put this thicker axle. The front is not. The front is a standard. I don't even know the dimension. Probably like half inch, maybe like a half inch or 7/16 or something. But the back one is actually thicker. So of course, then the nut that goes on it is not the standard 15 millimeter. It's the 17 millimeter. Lo que pasa que cuando los que andan en BMX, cuando ellos hacen sus trucos y cosas así, ellos estaban doblando el eje trasero. Y entonces para que no tuvieran que, para que eso no pasara, le pusieron un poquito más grueso, un poquito más el diámetro, un poquito más grande, para que fuera un poco más fuerte. El eje de frente delantera que está en la bicicleta, misma bicicleta, es diferente, es el normal. Entonces así son. Entonces por eso necesito ya 17 milímetros. No necesito 17, necesito... A ver. Sorry, no, I don't need 17. I need something else. I don't know what it is, so I'll just do this. Ya no supe cuál era, entonces más fácil simplemente usar el ajustable. Universal. Ok. Lo bueno de estas bicicletas, son muy fáciles de reparar porque son muy simples. Ahora, esta bicicleta en sí, como ven, ni tiene frenos, porque cuando uno lo pone, cuando ellos están haciendo sus trucos, ellos no usan los frenos. Entonces dicen, ¿para qué no los necesito? Yo lo siento que obviamente para una persona que anda en bicicleta, eso es muy peligroso, pero por lo que es, está bien. Entonces, voy a sacarle la cadena. I'll take out the chain here. I was just mentioning that if this bike doesn't have any brakes, if they took off the brakes. I mean, it came with brakes. It came, but then they took them off. So, all right. So let me go ahead and I'm going to peel off this tire and wheel. And let me just put this on the side. Put this down. Now, as we can see, take out the tire. I'll put the tire down here too. So this is what I want, the tube. And as you can see, I've actually put 2 patches on here already. One I put on there, and it worked for a while, and then I realized it was developing a leak again. So I just put another patch on top of the other patch. No big deal. Yeah. Como ven, esta cámara, aquí puse un parche y después me di cuenta que se estaba escapando el aire por el costado. Entonces siempre puse otro parche encima. No duele. Ok, pero tiene poco de aire, pero no suficiente para que se mantenga en la bicicleta. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm realizing that it doesn't, it is, I mean, it obviously there was a hole. I patched it. It's still coming out. I don't know if it's coming out here at this spot still. So we will pump it up and find out. Entonces, lo vamos a verificar. For that, I'm going to use my little handheld pump and just put some air in there. Si lo voy a inflar un poco. Y no me parece que está saliendo de aquí, de los parches. So I don't think it's coming out of the patches. I think I did a good job of patching it this time. But that tells me that somewhere else there is a hole. And the other thing, so when I diagnose a tube, I'm thinking, where can air escape? Obviously, holes are a big thing, but the other thing is actually the valve itself. Sometimes the valve is leaking slightly, and the problem is you'll look for a hole through the entire tube and not find it, but you're saying, why is this thing leaking air? Lo que pasa que hay que ver, cuando yo hago estos diagnósticos de dónde está saliendo el aire, a veces uno mira por toda la cámara misma y no encuentra nada. Lo busca, no encuentra ningún agujero. Y puede ser que está saliendo de la válvula misma. Entonces, eso es lo que pasa. Uno necesita revisar eso tanto como el resto de la cámara. Okay, so what I typically will do is I will do a water bath. Okay, so water bath, obviously, take it in water, immerse it in water, and start to see where the air is escaping. So I don't have one set up right now, so I'm going to have to think a little bit here. No tengo un baño de agua en este momento. Y no puedo, obviamente estoy vivo, entonces no puedo ir a hacer un montón de cosas, dejarles así en la nada. Entonces, lo que creo que voy a hacer es... voy a hacer algo. Okay. Voy a sacarle la válvula. I'm going to take out the valve here. And just look at it. Just visually inspect it. Okay. Solo lo voy a inspeccionar para que vea si está bien o está mal. Porque puede ser que hay un poco de algo adentro que está causando problemas. Okay. So I have this is a valve extractor tool. Es para extraer las válvulas, la parte dentro de la válvula. So just do this. Let's put this in here. And you can get these at Walmart. They're pretty cheap. They come with there's a okay. So looking at the valve itself, I'm looking for junk. Sorry, I'm gonna hold it up here. So this is a valve core, and esta es la parte dentro de la válvula, el núcleo, como podría decir, no sé cómo se llamaría. Pero esto es muy común, pero yo no veo ningún problema. I don't see any problem with this. I mean, it looks shiny. It looks like it's new. I'm looking for things that are, they see that little red, that little red band. Yeah, esta parte roja. That's where that's where uh, where I was looking, but that's a seat. That's the seal. So that's where you actually have that's where I look for junk. Eso es lo que miro donde a ver si está con cosas. Pero no, no pasa nada. Ok, entonces lo voy a poner otra vez. So I'll put it back on because there's no real need for me to be looking at it. Valve looks good. So valve is nice. That tells me I have a leak somewhere else. Now, where to find that? Again, if I had my water bath set up like I should have done it before I started my live session, that would be great, but I don't, so I'm kind of stuck here trying to do it. Okay. So like I said, I'm looking here at the two patches I put on here, and I am usually, so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a curled edge. Yeah, estoy mirando en estas parches por si se está levantando en una de las orillas, and I do not see anything wrong. I mean, it looks like it's held down. I'm not seeing air escaping from some particular location. So I think what I might do is, because I've done as much as I can do for now, I might just go put it back on the bike and just pump it up. I mean at this point, there's not really too much I can do unless I go ahead and look for that. If I do my water bath, I should be able to find it. Should. Now here's another thing. Esta es otra cosa que yo voy a hacer. Que cuando uno infla la cámara con la llanta en la bicicleta, a veces los agujeros no se presentan cuando están en cierta presión, como si esta presión que tengo es solamente de unos 4 o 5 libras por pie, por pulgada cuadrada, como dice eso, la presión que dice en inglés por lo menos. I'm just saying that if sometimes your holes or your leaks will not present themselves until they're at a higher pressure. So they're not going to show up immediately. Sometimes you're like putting it on, you're like going, why is this thing keep coming down? Because it's waiting for the higher pressure, and then it will deflate. But for the most part, that is not the case. So let's do this. Okay, so now I'm going to take my tire. I'm going to put the tube on the side here. Voy a dejar la cámara por un momento. Voy con la llanta automático. Y solamente voy a pasar los dedos aquí entre medio. So I'm just rubbing my fingers through here. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for anything that might be poking through. Oops, just broke the bead there. That's not good. I'm just trying to feel anything that's inside that might be poking through, and then that would be a cause of a thorn or something like that. Decía, alguna estilla o así que está pasando ahí. Ok, pero no siento nada. Okay, so put this back on. Okay. So with the tube just slightly inflated, it actually is much easier to put it into the tire. At least that's my take on it. And then once that's in there, then I take out the rest of the air. Okay. And we'll go ahead and put this on the wheel. I'll put it as well. Okay. Okay, now to inflate, vamos a inflarlo. Okay, so I'm gonna stop. I just have 10 pounds in here. Solo tengo 10 libras por pulgada cuadrada. Aquí va a decir cuánto es el máximo. Máximo es 65. The maximum is 65 psi. So I can go up there. I'll go up to about 60 then. Okay. So we've got air in the tire. Definitely inflated. Okay. We'll see how long this lasts. I mean, maybe another day I'll have to go and take a look at this thing and see what the deal is. So put the cap back on. Ya, como digo, no sé exactamente qué va a pasar, pero le voy a poner el aire y a ver cuánto tiempo aguanta la presión. Okay. So now I have my chain here, and let's put this back on. Okay, so I've got. I'm just gonna put the. So I've got the chain. I have to slide the chain off. Actually, take this off, and then I will feed it onto the crank. Voy a poner ahora estoy poniendo la cadena aquí, entonces tengo que aflojarlo todo. Entonces de ahí voy a hacer esto. Ponerla acá. Okay. Entonces, ahora que tengo esto así, floja, pull it back and it stays, and I will put tension on the chain. Y le voy a poner un poco de tensión. Finger tight. Le voy a poner un poco de tensión, alineando la parte. Okay. All right. Okay. A little bit on the loose side, actually. I don't like that. Take this up just a little bit more. Vamos a dar un poco más de tensión porque se aflojó un poco. these are always tough to do. They're touchy, and what I'm gonna do is let's get. I'm gonna poke something on in there. This will work. Better. I guess that's okay. There's the last onion. Okay. So we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, I would like I say I would much rather do a bath check on it, but for the time being, I know it's a really slow leak, and hey, never know, right? No sé exactamente cuánto tiempo aguanta ahí, pero por el momento eso es lo que tengo. Okay, so not that one. Next, we're going to work on this one. Okay, so I need to provide a little bit of a background on this one. This is a Huffy Blackwater 24-inch wheel bike, and we put it a little bit higher so you can see more of the bike, not necessarily the top. So, let's see. Got too many bikes here. Ese es el problema de trabajar en el garaje. No hay mucho espacio. There's not a whole lot of space in my garage, obviously, because I actually it's taking up half my garage, probably covered taken up with bikes. So anyway, okay, so this is actually I have to explain a little about this bike. A friend of mine came to me and said, "Look, I need some money because my father has been diagnosed with cancer, and I need some money for his treatment." And I I said, "How much do you want?" He had this bike and two kids' bikes, and he was selling his bikes. I mean, this is what not. There's just some extras kind of lying around. These were actually the bikes that they had. And he said, "I'll take $100." And I said, "Fine." I would prefer to. I'm always looking for deals. I'm always looking for deals, looking for cheap bikes, broken bikes, stuff like that. I'm always looking for that. But this was something that I said, "I'll do. I'll give you." Okay, I said $100. Perfect. I'll give you $100. And but what I want to do is I'm going to actually fix up these bikes. Yes, this one, and he has a couple other smaller ones for his. Here's another one for his two sons. And what I'm going to do is actually fix them up and actually give them back to him because I'm not really interested in the money. I'm much more interested in him having. Well, I'm saying what I should say is I'm more interested in him having the money than me having the bikes. I'm not concerned about that because these are not something that I'm going to be thrilled to have, so to speak. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. I'm just saying that there's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do with them because I don't really. I mean, I've got so many other bikes. I mean, I would rather him receive them back because I would rather him have the money that he needs for the treatment than it is for me to have these bikes. Ahora lo voy a decir en español. Este señor me vino y me dijo, necesito dinero, necesito vender unas bicicletas. Me dijo, ¿cuánto quiere? Me dijo $100. Aquí en los Estados Unidos, $100. Y yo le dije que estaba bien. Y lo que quiero hacer es arreglar estas bicicletas y devolvérselas. Porque él está vendiendo sus propias bicicletas. No está vendiéndome unas bicicletas que se quedaron ahí porque se nota que no están muy oxidadas, se nota que se han cuidado. Entonces lo que quiero hacer es arreglar las bicicletas y devolvérselas para que él las tenga, porque yo no quiero quedarme con las bicicletas simplemente porque él está en prietos, como si él no está en una situación difícil con su papá. Entonces, entonces lo que voy a hacer, voy a revisar esta bicicleta, tiene unos problemas y eso es lo que quiero hacer, arreglar los problemas y devolverse las bicicletas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the problems on the bike and just walk through my kind of like my diagnosis of the bike, and we can take it from there. So first things first, I'm going to put on my gloves because I never know what I'm going to be touching. Not that it's a big deal, but I don't get my hands dirty or using solvent. I'm always using solvent for cleaning stuff. So let's go and let's put on gloves. Okay. So first things first, flat tire. Isn't that the first thing? Of course. Everybody has their bikes and they're all. This one's it's a little bit pumped up. This is bad. If you can see this still, it has the let me just rotate this way a little bit more. You can see it has the valve stem is crooked. That is very typical. Yeah, that is. Sorry to see there's the ADH popping in. So that's very typical of a bike that's ridden with low pressure. Okay, very common. So the back tire, where's the valve stem? So as you can see, the valve is not even poking through. It was rotated so much, and so that is usually a sign that there is that, let's say, it's been ridden with low pressure, and that is so common with kids because they don't care. It was just that, they probably got it for Christmas or something like that. It's just some gift, and of course they don't care because they didn't pay for it, and they therefore, and they're always the ones riding around because they just ride their bike, and they don't think about maintenance. They don't think about upkeep. Entonces los niños por lo general cuando reciben bicicletas, ellos no se preocupan de lo que recibieron porque no les costó a ellos, ¿no es cierto? Y ellos prefieren andar en bicicleta nomás. Entonces no se preocupen cuando ven que está un poco baja la presión de su llanto, del neumático. Entonces ellos simplemente andan. Y lo que pasa, como digo, aquí está el hoyo, el agujero, el hoyo para recibir la válvula y ni está ahí. Quiere decir que la cámara se corrió para adentro en alguna parte y tendría que ver qué pasó. Entonces esto va a ser algo parecido a lo que acabo de hacer con el otro bicicleta BMX. Ahora lo voy a hacer con este también. So now that I see this, then I'll take off the wheel and I'm going to find out where that valve went because it's probably pulled up underneath it. I mean, somebody hit the brakes or was accepted. Usually that's it. Usually they hit the brakes and causes, because the tire is not inflated, then it slides on the bead and on the rim and it rotates around. Sometimes it catches like this and doesn't pop through, and you can see it's where it's crooked. And actually what I'm going to do this here. Let's just take this up here a little bit closer. So just to show what I mean, then you can see here that this is now crooked. It's not pointing towards the hub. It should be pointing towards the hub, but it's not. But here, if you notice, here on this one, let me show it right here. If I can get it up on here, right there. That's the valve hole right there. But you can see there is no valve, and yet I can see that a little bit of the tube is poking through though. Okay, so So now what I want to do then is take off this tire, this wheel, and check into it and see what the problem is. What else can I see? Oh, this pedal is really loose, so that tells me it probably has no grease in the pedal itself. Yeah, they're both dry, so those would have to be fixed. Obviously, most obvious things would be that chain. Surprisingly enough, is actually really good. There, it's not greasy, but it's also not rusted. That's why I say I could tell that these bikes were at least taken care of to an extent because there is no rust on the chain. That's usually the first thing that rusts. Entonces ahora lo que estoy mirando, que los pedales están un poquito, tienen mucho juego y también, obviamente los frenos también necesitan trabajo, pero sorprendentemente aquí la cadena no está oxidada, que quiere decir que no estuvo afuera en la lluvia y el agua y todo eso. Entonces se cuidó la bicicleta, eso me gustó y simplemente hay trabajo que hacer para que se arregle. Entonces está un poquito seco así, está seca, quiere decir no tiene mucha grasa, pero tampoco está oxidada. Y eso sí es ideal, eso me encanta, porque no necesita tener un montón de grasa en la cadena. Lo que necesita es suficiente lubricación que lo proteja del agua, pero a la vez no lo llene de un montón de grasa por toda la bicicleta, porque eso simplemente lo que hace es atraer la tierra, el mugre y todo eso. Okay, so what I typically like to see on a bike and on a chain, I should say, is I like to see that it is lubricated enough to protect it from the elements, obviously from rain and moisture, but not so much that it actually is covering up it junks up all the pulleys. There's the two guide pulleys in the back on your rear derailleur. It gets into the sprocket, messes up with the crank on the front. It's a mess. So that's what I don't want either. So that's really what I'm going to be looking at. So this is going to be, and at the same time, it moves nicely. There is a little bit of movement on the wheel, which is of course what I like to look for too. I'd like to make sure that the wheel is true. So there's a little bit there, but really the big thing is that it's just basic upkeep of the bike. That's really all it is. And I mean, bikes will last forever if you know how to take care of them. They can't, because the components are practically indestructible if done right. Cuando uno quiere mantener su bicicleta, no es tan difícil, es más que nada la mantención y cosas simples, pero cosas simples que uno puede hacer, y si lo hace, la bicicleta dura para siempre. Eso depende de uno, que uno haga ciertos pasos para que no esté causando tantos problemas. Eso más que nada. Y la bicicleta en sí, ya ven que mi canal es un canal de restauración, y yo restauro bicicletas de 30, 40 años a 50 años. Tengo ahí mi bicicleta del 1968, parece algo así, es más viejo que yo. Entonces, esa bicicleta va a andar súper bien cuando yo termine, porque no es un problema es cuestión de mantenimiento. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's get this tire off and look at the tube just to confirm that the tube is good. I want to confirm that first. Okay, so this is the 50 millimeter. So 50 millimeter, and okay. Go. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this off. Okay. So I should say this is an older. This is a Huffy. It's a Huffy Blackwater. It's called. It has one, two, three, four. It has five gears in the back. That actually, it looks like the freewheel is very dry too because it's spinning too freely. But what I wanted to say was this is actually an older bike because of the fact that it has no no suspension fork on the front, so it's just a regular standard rigid fork, and it has caliper brakes. Ahora voy a explicarlo en español. Este bicicleta es un poquito más vieja porque no tiene una horquilla de suspensión, ya es una horquilla rígida, y también tiene tiene cinco piñones en la pacha, y también tiene frenos de caliper. Entonces, esto es una bicicleta más antigua, pero sirve, eso es lo que pasa, sirve. Esta puede andar años y años más con un poco de mantención, eso es todo que necesita. So, obviously, this bike could be this could be ridden for years and years to come as long as we just maintain it. Even though the bike, I'd say this bike was built back in the 90s, late 90s maybe. I think that I might give it a shot to say that it is in the 90s. And actually, Huffy made some pretty nice bikes at certain times because they it unfortunately, okay, now I'm going to start getting to my pet peeves here. So the good bike companies, or I shouldn't say, well, not the high end. The high end bike companies, they always stay aloof of everybody. But when a bike company will sell out, Pacific Bicycle is the one that owns Mongoose. They own, I think they own Huffy. I know they own. There's a couple brands of bikes that are owned by Pacific Bicycle. And when Pacific Bicycle began to sell bikes to Walmart, the quality went down because because Walmart comes and says we will buy bikes off of you for this much money. And so therefore that price fixing that Walmart does is great because then Walmart says, okay, well, we're going to sell our bikes at this retail price, we're going to make X amount of profit. But because they're dictating what they're going to pay the supplier, then the supplier then has to make money too. So, and usually it's not a nice comfortable number. It's usually very, very competitive because of course Walmart does all the research and they confirm what price they want because they're looking, their price is, for example, back in the day, I don't know exactly if it's true today now because of course we have inflation, but there was a time when they would sell bikes at $88 for $88 a piece. And $88 was because that was a market review that said that 88 was the number that people like to see when they went to buy stuff. They wouldn't buy it 99, they wouldn't buy it 100, they wouldn't buy it 75. They said 88 was the number, like that sweet spot between the two. Lo que estoy diciendo es que en este día que esta bicicleta salió, era muy buena. Porque Huffy en ese momento es parte de la compañía que se llama Pacific Cycles. Y tienen varias marcas. Mongoose es uno también que tienen ahí. Schwinn es otro también. Entonces, todas esas compañías, bueno, esas marcas son de la compañía Pacific Cycles. Y lo que pasó que cuando ellos estaban autónomos, como se dice, cuando ellos trabajaban aparte, independiente de los demás, perfecto. Pero cuando vino Walmart y les decía, nosotros queremos que ustedes nos hagan 100,000 bicicletas, obviamente un número increíble. Entonces, y dijeron, pero te vamos a pagar X de dinero y no vamos a pagar más. Entonces, lo que pasa es que las compañías dijeron, claro, nosotros vamos a hacerlo por un orden gigantesco de miles de bicicletas. Nosotros lo hacemos porque ellos sabemos que Walmart va a pagar y también ellos los quieren. Entonces, cuando eso pasó, ellos dijeron, ok, nos dieron por un precio, pero nosotros tenemos que ganar dinero también. Entonces, la calidad de lo que era la bicicleta bajó. Y por eso no me gustan tanto las bicicletas de tienda bueno, ¿cómo se llama? De supermercado, como casi decir, de Walmart. Yo siempre digo, it's a Walmart bike. It's a Walmart bike, and that just means it's low quality because that's the base that they can do, and then what they will do, what Huffy does, or what Pacific Bicycle will do, is they then go to their suppliers and they say, we need you to make your components cheaper for us. So they go to, this is Power Index System. So this was before, like I say, I think this was before the Walmart phenomenon. I could just call it the Walmart factor, if you will, something like that. So this was before that. So therefore, the components on here were just simply them just looking for whatever they wanted. So Power, yeah, there's Power here too. And Power was it's a cheaper alternative to Shimano. But what they would do then these companies would go to Shimano and they say, okay, we want you to make a very low quality line of components. And let me show you. I have right here in my hand 2 examples of those low quality rear derailleurs. So estos son 2 ejemplos de lo que es la calidad baja de Shimano cuando ellos fueron contactados, por ejemplo, por Pacific Cycle. Y eso es la razón que yo sé, porque yo sé cómo han hecho esta parte aquí. Entonces, estos son 2, ¿cómo se llama? Se me fue el nombre. Al desviador, desde el desviador trasero. Entonces, estos son 2 ejemplos. Y los mantengo por si trabajo en una bicicleta, quizás una bicicleta que sea también de baja calidad y necesito una pieza, entonces yo saco de aquí. Eso es lo que pasa. Entonces, muchas de las bicicletas que cuando yo digo que es una bicicleta de Walmart, hay que decir que es de baja calidad, porque realmente no son, ellos todo desde el comienzo hasta el final es todo controlado por el vendedor, que es Walmart. Ellos controlan el precio y todos los demás tienen que decir, tenemos que bajar la calidad para lograr el precio que nosotros podemos ser, no competitivos en sí, eso no es competición. Esto es para alcanzar un precio que se dicta el consumidor, bueno, no ni el consumidor, porque nosotros somos los consumidores, pero el vendedor, que es Walmart. ¿Ok? Y solo como un ejemplo, este es un desviador, es viejo también, pero esto se ve que es otra calidad, no es de pura lata, ya se ve esto sí, estas piezas son puro plástico. El metal aquí es metal estampado. This is just the stamped metal that they use for this here. Whereas this here, as you can see, it has formed pieces and it's forged. It has forged. The metal is thicker here. There's a lot more strength here. Whereas this is like almost the thinnest metal they could possibly use here to be able to get that price break that they want. Entonces, eso es lo que pasa, que la diferencia de calidad es increíble entre uno y el otro. Pero eso es lo que se encuentra en las bicicletas de Walmart. Okay, so back to this. So let's take a look at this wheel now. And I'm going to grab my seat here. And hopefully I will be able to show you. I'm going to try to do it this way. I just need my tire lever here. Okay, so just with the tire lever, just going to, okay. Just going to go ahead and take this off. I can see I can see the tube already. Ya puedo ver la cámara y eso no está bien. No está bien. Okay. As I'm sitting here working on this thing, of course, I'm always thinking about the things as well. You know what? I'm going to stand up here. Huffy was the only bike company that I remember that used a steel rims on their mountain bikes, and it was I don't necessarily like that. Huffy also uses a well, they used on some of their bikes, like their cruisers, like the Cranbrook. There's a couple other cruisers they have. The spokes were actually thicker too, and the spoke nipples were thicker. And I'm not quite sure why they decided to do that. I'm a little surprised, but that is something that is a topic for another day. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get this tire off here. I'm trying not to damage the tube. Estoy tratando de no dañar la cámara porque yo veo que está afuera. Entonces, this back here a little bit. Hang on a second. Let's just slide this back. So, if at all possible, try to roll the tire off the rim, meaning that you don't want to use the tire lever if possible, but this one is being a little bit stubborn, so I'm just going to have to do it this way. So just try to be careful to keep it like this, and then once that starts, for the most part, you're usually good to roll off the rest. So let me just do this. So now I'm actually going to be able to get at the tube. Yeah, okay. So you know what? Now I'm going to pull the tube out because I'm afraid. I don't know what the situation is with this tube. No sé exactamente lo que pasa con esta cámara, pero la voy a sacar antes que trate de sacarla. Yeah, it's. Oh, okay. Well, I know what happened to the valve. It got ripped off because I can see it right there. You can see the hole. Ya sé lo que pasó con la válvula porque ahí está. Ese es el hoyo para el agujero, donde es el hueco, donde estaba la válvula. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No good. So we've replaced the tube. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now I don't have to worry about that. All right. So let's go ahead and. Get the tube out all the way. Okay. Working this out here. So it's stuck here in something. Okay, there we go. Almost there. All right, so now I've got the tube out. We'll talk about this in just a second. Okay, now we can get the wheel off much easier too. A tire. So there's a tire. Doesn't look bad. I mean, it's seen better days. There's a little bit of rust around the rim, but that's to be expected. Tire looks fine. just a slight amount of rust on the inside. That's also to be expected. Yeah, esta rueda me encuentro muy bien. Un poquito de oxidación por dentro, pero eso es para, eso no es nada nuevo. Yo podría esperar algo así. El eje rueda bien. No, no veo que. No, aparte de esto, que la facha gira muy fácil, me dice que no, puede ser que no tiene lubricación por dentro. Pero aparte de eso, anda bien. Ok. Ahora, la cámara. Esto es un problema. aparte de la válvula que está ausente, la válvula no está y también con eso ese, parece que lo, alguien lo sobreinfló. Eso es lo que normalmente eso es lo que pasa. Con algo así de un rotura así de este porte, alguien lo sobreinfló. Okay, so I'll just say that this is I can see that because the valve's missing, that's one part. But this is a blowout. This is a blowout right here. When you see a section this big, it just exploded like a balloon is what it did. Okay, so obviously no good. This is no good. But this has to go in the trash. So up here, that's done. Okay, so but I have loads and loads of other tubes that I have. So let's go grab another one. So here's my collection of tubes that I just kind of keep hanging around just in case I need something. And what I do here is, I mean, I'll take these off other bikes. Let me just hang this up here for now. So I take these off other bikes, and they could be ranging from anything. So because this is a 24-inch wheel, though, I will need a 24-inch tire. This to me looks like a 26, but let's confirm. Usually, a little bit of grease here. Look at there's grease coming from. I must have been looking for another bike with grease in my hands and I didn't realize it. Okay, so but usually on the inside, something will be stamped or something like that. There it is. So right here is very, very hard to see, but right there is 26 by, and it says 1 by 1, 26 by 1.9 to 2.3. That's what it says there. Now, ahora, esta cámara es una cámara de 26, de rodada de 26 pulgadas. Y tiene estampado las dimensiones. Como esta llanta es de 24 pulgadas, entonces eso no me sirve. So this one, that is the count. I can't use that. I can tell this is a 20. Este es 20 inch. Este 20. No necesito eso tampoco. Okay. Okay. This one has a Presta valve, which is this. This is for higher end bikes for the most part. That also I cannot use. Okay. Tampoco lo puedo usar porque esa válvula es una válvula especial para bicicletas de un poquito más alta calidad por lo general. No lo voy a usar tampoco. Ok. Entonces, aquí tengo otro más. Here's another one. 26. Just by looking at it, I could tell it's a 26. And I can confirm that because I can do this. See? I know it's too big. Yeah, yo sé que es demasiado grande. Okay, so let me look here. Here's another 20. This is another 20. All right. And we have this one here is another 26. Otro 26. Tampoco sirve. Okay. And here is another 26. Oh, there we go. Much better. So you can see 26 by 1.5 to 1.75. Okay. So that's the size of this tube. Esa es son las dimensiones de esta cámara. Okay. Okay, okay, I think this is looking better. Okay, this one I think might be the right size. Yo creo que este es el tamaño correcto. Vamos a ver. Dice 24 por 1.5 a 1.75. Pero, ok, está bien la rodada. Sin embargo, tengo que ver aquí que dice el tamaño de esta llanta. Y dice 24, aquí como ve, aquí dice 24, no sé si se ve ahí, 24 por 1.95 y eso llega a 1.75. Está muy delgado. Esto no va a servir porque si lo pongo y le echo aire, es muy posible que se vaya a reventar. So this could blow up in my tire because the tire is too big for the size of this tube. So I'm not going to use this one. This is the right size in diameter, but wrong thickness. So no good. Okay, so I think that the rest of these are going to be 20s and 26s. I don't see anything that comes out of it. There's a couple of these really thin ones. So these here, let me just to describe. So you see it's a very, very thin one. This is actually a racing tire, has the Presta valve, very thin here, and you can see it says 700C by 1926. This would work on this bike. This is what it would work here. Okay. But it actually would not work on that bike either because my bike has a very deep profile and it requires a very long stem. So this stem is way too short. So it would have to be like about that long. But regardless, this is a racing tire is what this is. Entonces ese es una cámara de bicicleta de carrera. Ok. Entonces, ahora que ya revisé todas estas cámaras y no veo ninguna que me sirve, voy a tener que buscar otra cosa. Ok, entonces voy a buscar entre mis cajas de llantas, cámaras nuevas. Okay. So luckily I have a 24-inch bicycle tire and it says fits 1.75 to 2.25. There you go. So, entonces entre mis cámaras nuevas encontré este de rodada 24 pulgadas de 1.75 a 2.25 y esto es 1.95. Esto sí sirve. This does work. So sometimes you just have to go with the new stuff if you don't have anything used. Okay, so now because of the fact that they always have these tires, sorry, these tubes so packed up so tightly, then of course the first thing I do is put some air in there. Put some air. Not because I want to check for leaks, but because I wanted to take the form that I wanted to do. Le echo un poco de aire, no solo porque yo quiero ver si tiene agujeros o algo así, es porque yo quiero que tome la forma que va a estar en la bicicleta para que después, como siempre, yo lo pongo aquí y después yo puedo instalarlo en la bicicleta, en la rueda. Ok, pero antes de eso voy a hacer otra cosa. Porque ahora que tengo, ya sé que le saqué la llanta, la cámara y todo eso, ya le saqué. Hay cosas que yo puedo hacer en la rueda misma. Okay, so because of the fact I have this off already, I'm not going to put this back on just yet. I'm just going to put it in here so it's in place. So now I'm ready for this. And let's take a look at this thing now. And yeah, I don't like this here. Now, I could take apart the freewheel. I could take this apart completely and go in there and repack the bearings and all that good stuff. I actually have a video on that. I actually have I have a couple videos actually for freewheel restoring. I don't think it really need to go that extreme. I mean, I could if I were doing a full restoration on this bike. I'm just trying to clean this up. So what I'll do is I'll just simply take off. Let's just go ahead and put in some. What do I want to use here? I want to use my spray grease. So this is called Red Tacky, Lucas Red Tacky spray grease. It's not the best. I mean, I want the grease in there, but this is not the best way to do it. You know what? I'm not going to do it this way. Let's do it the different way. I'll take that back. I have. No, yo iba a usar esa grasa, pero lo que pasa es que la forma de aplicación no es la mejor. No es malo, yo quiero que haya grasa aquí, pero lo que voy a hacer es voy a usar este jeringa. Este jeringa tiene grasa también adentro, como ven. Entonces, no, lo bueno es que hay que saber, ya, este no tiene punto, no tiene un punto así filoso. Este es como ven, es así nomás, es plano. Entonces, no, me preocupo. A veces me protejo, quiero decir. So let's do this. Let me go ahead and put this up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here and just add a little bit around the perimeter. There we go. Actually, I'm going to put on a little bit more light so we can see what's going on here. Okay. All right, now I'm just going to force it in there a little bit, just with the finger. Let's put a little bit more there. One set of bearing races, or one set of bearings, I should say, is directly underneath this this little retention nut here. This retention nut is what holds this whole thing together. So, all right. So I think I forced it in there quite a bit because I'm not seeing it. It's not on my finger much, but still, I'll just let this go. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it is what it is. Okay, so. No voy a hacer mucho de esto, no voy a tratar de descomponer, no voy a desarmarlo y ponerlo a limpiarlo completamente. Yo podría hacerlo, tengo otro video que he hecho de cómo desarmé una pacha completa y donde puse grasa a todas las bolillas, como bolilleros, como quieren decirlo. Pero no lo voy a hacer en este momento porque no estoy haciendo una restauración completa. Lo que estoy haciendo simplemente es limpiarlo poco y rueda bien. Esto no está muy oxidado, se nota. No escucho que hay mucha tierra por dentro, no hay arena, algo así. No se siente. No estoy tan preocupado. Un poco de protección ahí en él. Okay. So I'm not seeing a whole lot more I need to do with this other than just clean it up a little bit. Just get some of the junk off of it. And to do that, I will let's put this back. Okay, so I always reuse my rags as much as I possibly can. Trato de reciclar mis trapos lo más que pueda. So just clean this up here. Put this right here. Like I say, I'm hearing there's a little bit of grittiness in the axle as I rotate it, but not that much. It's not a big deal. I think that we're fine. Okay. It doesn't seem that this bike had been ridden a whole lot, but it's very possible that because of the tube issue, it wasn't ridden because of the blowout. So we will definitely go ahead and clean this up. And we just go like that, and then a little bit more here. Give myself a little more room. And then, so what I'll do then is to get another one here. And then I just take this, fold this over. Solo voy a doblar esta toalla de papel y simplemente lo voy a meter entre medio. Así. Y simplemente voy a echarle un poco de estos. Esto es mi solvente. Y simplemente hago así. So this is how I clean my sprockets here. It's just a cleaning. It's not I'm not trying to take off rust because these are not rusty. Again, rusty ones would be a different story, and I'd be doing a lot more. So this is not necessary. It's just a cleaning, just to get the grease out if there's any grease on it. So there we go. Looks pretty good. So that's that. I don't see much else that I need to do on this. So let's go ahead and put the wheel back on, or the tire, the tube back on, the tire and tube back on. So all we do is look for the hole. There it is. Oh, okay, and okay, that's one other thing. So let me show you one more thing I just noticed. So you can see that this is the hole for the valve, and it's way over here, and the valve hole is right down. You can see it here. It's right down here. So these two are not the same. So I need to shift. So I'm just grabbing with my finger, and I'm just kind of pulling it down here, if you can see it. Just grabbing with my finger and just pulling it. It's sliding pretty nicely. So I'm happy that that's the case. So I just need to slide this down until it's over the top of the hole for the valve. And right there. So now they're lined up. Ya, ahora los tengo alineados. Y porque la válvula, el hoyo de la válvula estaba mal. Entonces, ahora pongo esto. All right, so now to put the tire back on, and we'll just rotate this around and just slowly slide this on. It's easy to slide on now because now we have that tube that was really messed up is off, and this is not too difficult now. Okay, so, and like I say, I'm just rotating I'm just rotating the bead like this. That's all I'm doing. It's all it takes. It doesn't take much more than that. Okay, now that I have this, my valve is a little crooked, so I need to straighten that out. Pull that through as much as I can. Okay, so now I have it perpendicular to the rim, and I'm going to go ahead and start to inflate this. Ahora voy a inflar la cámara, ya que tengo la rueda puesta. Voy a Ok, le pongo un poquito de presión, reviso que no se salió del ring o de la llanta y que todo esté bien. Just confirming that it's all together. Nothing's popped off the bead. The bead hasn't popped off the rim. And we're at 24 psi. Okay. Looks like my battery's about dead on my inflator. So, okay. I took it up to 50 psi. 50 it was between 40 and 65, so 50 is fine. It doesn't have to be always at the maximum. No necesariamente que se me está agotando la batería de mi inflador. Pero de todas maneras, yo lo inflé a 40, perdón, 50 pulgadas libras por pulgada cuadrada, PSI. Lo puse ahí porque no necesariamente tengo que llevarlo porque es acepta de 40 a 65. No tengo que llevarlo al máximo cada vez, solamente necesito tenerlo lo suficiente que está dura. Ahora, se puede, pero también eso también da la posibilidad de que haya reventones y que se reviente la cámara. Entonces, mientras que esté dura y mientras esté inflada bien como debe ser, está bien, está bien. Okay. I think that this will be the end of this live session for now, and stay tuned for another live session in the future. But it looks like we are obviously moving along on this bike, and we'll see what the next live session will bring. Of course, I have many other videos out there now. I have some upwards of 20 plus videos of different things. Obviously, my biggest one which was the restoration of that yellow Trek 1988 Trek 360, which was a very big. It was a big. It was a big task. You know, it was a big project, but it's not the only one. I have several others that I'm looking at, and I have many other bikes that I could work on. This is just something I'm doing a little bit on the side to kind of give me something else to do. But I definitely want to get this back to this guy so that he can enjoy his bike. I mean, that's really what I want. I want him to enjoy his bike and ride it around because I love seeing people riding their bikes, especially for the exercise or for the pleasure of just riding and getting out and enjoying the weather. Because right now we're in April, and the weather here in Texas is fantastic for riding. It's a little cloudy today, but at the same time, it's perfect weather to be out and riding around, enjoying the sunshine. If you're not allergic to to the pollen and stuff like that, of course, sure, why not? Ahora yo voy a terminar esta sesión en vivo que tengo porque tengo muchas otras cosas que estoy haciendo. Tengo otros videos de donde yo estoy trabajando en cosas específicas. Esto es como si es solamente yo trabajando aquí en mi taller, como decir, haciendo lo que yo hago siempre, solamente hablando las cosas que hago. Y por eso pueden ver dos otros videos. Yo quiero terminar esta bicicleta para devolverse al Señor para que Él ande su bicicleta. Porque yo siento que hay muchas personas que si tuvieran las bicicletas o si tuvieran un poco de conocimiento de cómo mantener su bicicleta, podría estar afuera disfrutando el clima, como hoy estamos en abril. Aquí en Texas es excelente clima para que uno esté afuera andando en bicicleta, mientras que no tenga alergias al polen que hay también en este momento. Pero eso sí es algo que hay que enfrentar en el momento. Y hoy día es un día de nublosa. Es un día nubloso, de nieblas. Entonces están Neblosa, sí, neblosa, creo que sí. Entonces es neblosa, entonces realmente es, si no se quiere quemar, perfecto. Hasta el próximo entonces y nos veremos. Que les vaya muy bien. So until the next video or the next live session, we'll see you then.